Okay, so picture this. You walk into the living room, there's a shattered vase on the floor, and your cat is just sitting there looking at you with those big, innocent eyes. We've all been there, right? And we always wonder, do they have any idea what they just did? Today, we're diving deep into the mystery of what's going on in that little feline brain. And this question, this is really the heart of it all. When your cat does something they shouldn't, and then they get all cuddly and sweet a few minutes later, is that remorse? Are they actually sorry? Or is something totally different happening here?
Well, before we can even begin to talk about apologies, we first got to understand that cats have this surprisingly rich and complex emotional life. Seriously, they aren't just these aloof, uncaring creatures that they're sometimes made out to be. Their inner world is way deeper than you might think.
And when you actually look at how they show these emotions, a lot of it is pretty recognizable. I mean, they show love by rubbing up against you, purring, just wanting to be in the same room. They show happiness when they're playful and relaxed. And yeah, they can definitely feel sadness or anger. They might withdraw or hiss. They've got the whole spectrum of feelings, just like us. Okay, so if they have all these emotions, then they must know when they've done something wrong, right? Well, this is where our human way of thinking and their cat way of thinking really start to go in different directions. So here's the big reveal, the thing that changes everything. Cats do not have an innate sense of morality. The whole concept of right and wrong is a human invention. Your cat doesn't think scratching the couch is morally bad. They just know it feels really, really good to stretch their claws. And this comparison just lays it all out so clearly. While you're over here thinking about morality, guilt, and malicious intent, your cat is focused on something completely different, your reaction. They aren't processing the action itself as wrong. They're processing your loud voice, your tense body language, the whole vibe you're giving off. And they are absolute masters at this. I mean, studies have shown that cats are incredibly attuned into the sound of our voices and can even pick up on our facial expressions. They learn to connect their action, like, say, knocking a glass off the counter, with the negative vibe they get from you right after. In their world, you are the one who sets the rules. So this brings us to the big one, that guilty look your cat gives you. You know, the one with the ears slightly back, the wide eyes. It's not what you think it is. Let's peel back the layers and see what's actually going on in there. So your cat isn't feeling guilt. That's a super complex human emotion that requires a moral compass they just don't have. But what they are feeling is your displeasure. They are highly, highly aware when you are upset. And frankly, they don't like it. It disrupts the peace. I love this quote because it just nails the perspective shift we need to make. When your cat comes up to you after you've scolded them, it's not them saying, "I'm sorry." It's them saying, "Hey, this tension between us, I don't like it. Let's fix this. Let's be friends again." It's about repairing the bond. So, what does this feline apology, this attempt to reconnect, actually look like? Once you know the signs, I swear, you'll start seeing them everywhere. In fact, animal behavior experts have pretty much pinpointed 9 key signs. That's right, 9, that show your cat is actively trying to mend the fence and repair your bond. And here they are. You've got the classics, right? The purring, the head bumping, and of course, the slow blink, which is basically a cat's way of blowing you a kiss. But it's also things like kneading on you, showing you their belly, which is a huge sign of trust, or even bringing you one of their gifts. Every single one of these is a peace offering. It's their way of saying, we're cool, right? All right, so we've kind of cracked the code on how they apologize to us. But hey, a relationship is a two-way street. What about when we mess up? Maybe we accidentally step on their tail or shout a little too loudly. How do you say sorry to a cat in a language they'll actually get? The key thing to remember is that the goal isn't to say a word. It's to restore a feeling. You need to reassure your cat that you're safe, that you're not a threat, and that the bond between you is still strong. So here's your playbook. 3 simple steps. First, and this is crucial, give them space. If their ears are flat and their tail is low, just back off. Let them come to you. Second, when they're ready, speak to them in a soft, calm voice and offer those slow blinks. And third, offering a high-value treat can work wonders to smooth things over and create a new positive memory. And honestly, what you don't do is probably even more important. Never ever chase after a scared cat. Don't force them into a hug, and obviously never yell or punish them. To a cat, these things aren't lessons, they're threats. All it teaches them is to be afraid of you. And there's some really fascinating science behind this. Cats operate on something called associative memory. A single bad event, like you accidentally tripping over them, they might forget that in less than a day. But a pattern of you being angry or scary, that gets locked in for life. They start to associate you, the person, with that feeling of fear. And that is so hard to undo. So if you only take one thing away from all of this today, let it be this. Cats don't get our words, but they are experts at understanding our feelings. Your real apology isn't in the word sorry. It's in the softness of your voice. It's in the gentle way you reach out your hand. It's in that slow blink that tells them, I trust you, and you can trust me. That's the language they speak. That's how you really connect. So the next time there's a little misunderstanding with your feline friend, try to see it differently. Don't look for guilt. Look for the head bump, the purr, the slow blink. Look for their attempt to make things right. Now that you speak a little more of their language, what new secrets is your cat going to tell you?